The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondel.
Your smile and conversation, giving me the good vibration. Your heart got my attention, nothing but your rules and no caution. Took the time to listen.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Stage Door Show tonight. This is Dave Hondel. I have a great artist tonight with me, recording artist LaShonda Schofield. LaShonda, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
So I want to talk about your new single, Free to Love, and it's by the way, it's an amazing song. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I really want to start out with the fact that you grew up in Valdosta, Georgia, and you were singing since the age of 3. Talk about that, and how did you get into that?
Yeah, I've been singing since the tender age of 3. I was born in Valdosta, Georgia. My mother was a teen mom, but she had the wherewithal to know at a very young age that I was a singer before I even knew myself. So the very first song that she had me to sing was George Benson's The Greatest Love of All, out of all songs. That's a big song, right? Yeah. So she had me sing that for her friends at the age of 3. So I've been singing a long time.
So when you were singing that young, I mean, just around the house, what kind of music did your mom listen to besides George Benson? I mean, what kind of influences did you have growing up?
Oh, man, my mom was a big Natalie Cole fan. So I can remember listening to Natalie Cole, watching her on television. There was one show with her and Maurice White from Earth, Wind & Fire. And I remember that performance so vividly, and it just literally stopped me in my tracks. I wanted to be a performer after I saw that, but my mom listened to her. She listened to Shaka. She was big on Anita Baker. She was big on Sade, and a huge Luther Vandross fan.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Luther, right? In fact, I just got the honor of speaking to Ava Cherry the other day, who actually got her start with Luther Vandross when they sang backup for David Bowie. So that was an amazing interview. And, talking about Luther and some of those influences, I mean, when you got to a certain age, let's say, your teen years, did you kind of veer off and have your own musical taste, or did you kind of stick with what your mom played in the house?
I did veer off a bit because I was really big on Atlantic Starr was a huge influence of mine. I was big on Barbara Weathers. I loved Sharon Bryant's voice, and I feel like a lot of my stylings, my vocal stylings, mirror some of what they do. And I was a big Lisa Keith fan. She was a very popular background singer for Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And when I heard her lead on Herb Alpert's Making Love in the Rain, and I must have been, I don't know, I was a teenager at the time, but when I heard it, that was another song that stopped me in my tracks. And I wanted to sound like her. I wanted to, hit those notes, and I just remember practicing all the time, listening to her. She was a big influence as well.
Well, you definitely have an amazing voice, and our listeners are going to hear that in a little bit. But the other thing I want to talk about is the fact that you started recording at the age of 19, which in itself, again, is a young age to start recording in this business. So talk about that first experience walking into a recording studio and laying down a track, your first track.
Oh, that was such a wonderful experience. I was blessed to be managed by the famous flautist Bobby Humphrey, and she gave me my first opportunity to record. I was a songwriter at the time, so I had, opportunities to write for myself as well as for another artist that was in Sister Act at the time, Ryan Toby. And so, that was really the birth of LaShonda in the studio. And I felt so at home, performing or singing the songs in a studio setting. And so I just fell in love with it, and it just became a part of me.
Your new single, Free to Love, again, I really enjoyed the song, and we're going to play that in a little bit. But, it had a great vibe, and it was definitely well produced. And I know you wrote the song and executive produced it, and, and again, really, really top notch. Everybody that's listening out there, make sure you check it out, called Free to Love. So talk about that and where that kind of was born.
Yeah, so I collaborate with producers Christopher and Conrad Rosser. They're identical twins, and we met. I often tell this story. It was just divine intervention. We met on social media, and they immediately clicked with me. They shared their tracks with me, and the track for that song was one of them that once I heard it, it immediately told me what to write to it. And so I was preparing bread, beans, and rice in my kitchen, and the lyrics just started to flow, and it had a very island Afrobeat vibe, and so quite naturally, the track led itself to that genre, and the music, the lyrics, they just spoke love.
Jikokwat, 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 jikokwa.
Nina Kupenda. Nina Kupenda. Your smile and conversation, giving me the good vibration. Your heart got my attention. Nothing but your rules and no caution. Took the time to listen, taking it slow, cause when I race, son, you say you want to be different. We gon' show 'em how it's done. Take it steady flow, love me proper, so all the others know that I am the queen and you are the king of my life, so they'll see how it's supposed to be. Your eyes are for me, we're gonna do it soul to soul. You make me feel brand new, I'm so glad I found you. You make it so easy, free, free to love. You get me, I get you, it's so easy, free, free to love. You follow the rules, then I jump ahead. Had to make it sure, not off on my bed. You're such a gentleman, a cut from the rest. It's important I get to see your best. Take it steady flow, love me proper, so all the others know that I am the queen and you are the king of my life, so they'll see how it's supposed to be. Your eyes are for me, we're gonna do it soul to soul. You make me feel brand new, I'm so glad I found you. You make it so easy, free, free to love. You get me, I get you, it's so easy, free, free to love. Our future is so bright, so bright, it's blinding me. Our future is so free, I can't believe it. Yo wanjo, yo wanjo, yo wanjo, yo wanjo, yo wanjo. La 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 la. Yo wanjo, yo wanjo, yo wanjo, yo wanjo, yo wanjo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo wanjo. Yo wanjo. Nina Kupenda. Yeah, yeah. Nina Kupenda. So free.
So I wanted to write a song about love, but also incorporate, the African themes. I collaborated with a Namibian rap group called MIG, and they were amazing. They were able to bring Africa to the track. So there's a lot of chanting. There is the, authentic Afro, Swahili languages that are being present in the song. It's just really a fun song.
Yeah, it definitely was, and that African element really added to it. So it was beautifully produced. And talk about your writing. I guess your process when you write songs, because I know you said that you heard the beat and the songs the words just kind of came to you. And talk about normally when you write. I mean, when you write music, do you have the words come to you first, or is it typically the melody first and then you write the words to it? What is your process normally?
That's a great question. I discovered that I write similarly to the way Michael Jackson would write. And what I discovered, I was listening to one of his videos on YouTube, and he creates the melody in most cases first. And that's what I do. I like to let the track lead me in a direction. So I will develop the melodic aspects of the song first. The words don't necessarily come immediately. Sometimes they do, and when they do, that's a gift. But for the most part, I will create the melody first and then kind of think about themes that are centered around what I'm doing melodically and start crafting the words around that.
So talking about your writing and coming up with your beats and so forth. Talk about some other music that you have out there that our listeners would enjoy listening to.
Sure, I like to think of my songs as ear candy for the soul. So a lot of my songs they have empowering messages. I write a lot of songs about love. And one of the songs that I wrote that I think a lot of people would enjoy is a song called Wash That Man. It was a song that I wrote. It was meant to be an empowerment piece and a reminder for women to love themselves, to honor themselves. And in the song, I'm talking about, how I discovered a lover being untrue and unfaithful, and how I arrive at the decision to let go of toxic energy.
Baby, let's stop the charade. I know you don't really truly love me. Overheard you telling your boy you were through with me, only putting up with me cause I got you, baby. Well, life is too short. You can leave, you can retire. I hate myself. I should've kept a spare tire for days like this when you're acting ridiculous. You can bounce, I don't have to put up with you. Time to wash that man right out of my hair, like soap in my eyes. He's making me cry. Time to wash that man right out of my head. Acting so flaky, treating me shady, like my conditioner. Detangle, set him free, just like the drama. You are depressing to me. I can take it. Don't worry about how I'm gonna make it. I'll move on.
So that's one song. And then I have a song called My Rhythm, My Blues. And it's my special favorite because it's an ode to the R&B genre. A lot of people think I'm talking about a lover, but I'm actually talking about my love, my infinite love for R&B music.
Ain't no second guessing how I'm gonna be. I'm hooked, can't you see? I'm just a sucker for your love. I'm just a sucker for your love. I'm just a sucker for your love. I'm just a sucker, baby. We're gonna flow inside the baby. We're gonna flow inside the baby. Show my fantasy, say we're gonna flow inside the baby. Cause you make me sing. You make me sing. So deep in my ocean, I'm digging your motion. We'll take a route that leads to love. You are my potion.
And then I have a song called Calamity. And Calamity was a song that I wrote in direct response to online dating. So in that song, I'm giving guys the do's and don'ts of how to approach a woman in direct messaging. It's really catchy.
Hello, stranger in my DM. Slipping in, acting like you know me. You got that Neanderthal conversation. Your favorite letters are W-Y-T. Stringing words together incoherently. Looking for a hookup, baby, you just met me. Video chat and I'll ignore your calls. Hoping I'll slide so you can catch me in my bra. I'm not chasing yellow butterflies with you. I know my love isn't high demand. High demand.
It's funny you should mention that last one, Calamity, because my wife and I met online and online dating site, and we actually have been together 7 years now. So, so I must have done I must have did something right. So
Yes, you did.
well, anyway, I want to talk about the how did you get the nickname Dat Girl? Talk about that. Where'd that come from?
Sure. I got the nickname Dat Girl. It was a gospel artist who gave me that name. His name is Lamont Sanders, and he's out of New Jersey. And so I was in New Jersey at the time writing a song for him, and he was like, you write really good songs, but the thing is, I don't think a lot of people are going to remember your name. He said, you need a nickname. Sort of like, when people think about you, and the first thing that'll come to their mind is that you write really good songs. So they may snap their finger and say to themselves, that girl that writes really good songs, I can't think of her name, though. You should be Dat Girl. And it just stuck. And I've been Dat Girl ever since.
I love it. That's a great story. Looking at your social media too. I mean, one of the other things that we talk about on our show is the business of being an independent artist. And looking at your social media, it's very professionally done and very well put together. And the photos are on point. I mean, everything that's on your social media is the way it should be. And it's really a model that other people should really follow. And the one thing I wanted to talk to you about, besides your social media, is also the importance of being professional. You have this whole process of coming onto my show. I've seriously, your business acumen is amazing, because I have run into very few people that have had the professionalism, great communication, and just the business acumen that you've had this whole process, and your team as well. So, kudos on that. And, talk about that. Talk about the importance of being professional to everybody that you run into. And, again, it's just, I think it goes a long way. So talk about that.
Thank you so much for the wonderful compliment. I want to first say that it's very important to first operate in the spirit of excellence. So that's really my foundation, is operating in the spirit of excellence. And when I do that, that means that everything that I do, everything that represents my brand, it has to be polished. It has to represent professionalism. I'm a stickler for, and you mentioned pictures, and I appreciate that so much, because I'm a stickler for the photography has to look a certain way. My imaging in terms of marketing has to look a certain way. It needs to look, just because you're an indie artist doesn't mean that it has to have a low budget appeal. There are many, many ways to find people that can assist in providing you services to provide that polished look. And that's what it's about. It's about not putting labels on, well, you're an indie artist, so therefore, your marketing material needs to look like it's low budget. I've always approached it this way. I treat my brand as if it's $1 million brand. And your compliment to me is a reflection of the spirit of excellence that I operate in. And so it warms my heart to hear you say these things and to give me that affirmation and compliment, because I really put a lot of work, time, and effort, and I make sure that my team does the same. And so it's a reflection of just, how I view myself and how I view my brand. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's definitely well deserved. What are you looking at down the road? I know we're still fighting the COVID thing out there, especially with artists and Broadway actors and singers and everybody that performs in front of people right now is having a very, very tough time. The good thing is that you still can write and record. So that's the good thing. But what are you looking at down the road, like maybe a few years down the road? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be signed to a big label? Do you want to continue to be an indie artist? I mean, what do you want to do with your career down the road a few years?
Sure. Well, I have a label. It's 309 Music Group.
Wow.
And so years down the road, I'm looking to add a roster of artists.
That is awesome.
Currently, we are licensing our work to lend itself to independent films. Before COVID, I was licensing my work to stage playwrights for stage plays. And so I will say this. I know that this is a very serious time, and I want to just extend my heart to those who have been impacted by COVID-19. It has been a global impact for us all. What it means for me, it's really an opportunity to just refocus, regroup. Like you said, I have had opportunities to still record. I've found very small, intimate venues that will allow me to perform. So that's been a blessing to be able to still do that. I actually have a performance October 16th here in Houston. So just trying to find ways to stay safe. But I do recognize that the industry at large has been greatly impacted by the global pandemic. It's just really been, it's stalled the performance aspect of what we do. But it doesn't mean that we have to stop. There are other means, there are other creative ways to still reach a mass audience, such as my conversation with you, as well as finding ways to perform virtually. So we're utilizing different mechanisms to reach people to still be able to get the music so that it's heard by the masses. That's important to me.
Now, we talk about, we've had a lot of people on my show that are that have been in the music business for 40 plus years. And, they talk about how they want their legacy to be remembered. How do you want your legacy to be remembered in the music business? I mean, what do you want to be remembered as down the road, 30, 40 years? You know what I mean? How do you want to be remembered to your fans and to the people?
I want to be an artist that reminds people of who they are. My messages are meant to be inspiring. My messages are meant to be empowering. My messages are meant to be fun and loving. My brand is really love. So I want people to, when they hear my music, I want them to walk away feeling loved at the end of the day.
Yeah, man, we need that right now, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So I want to put out there where people can find you, because I think it's important, to direct them to your website, to their social media. So how can people find you out there in the social media world and on the internet?
Sure. I'm on Instagram under LaShonda, LaShonda, Schofield, Schofield, all together. I'm also on Facebook under the same name. I'm on Twitter as @DatGirlCanWrite. And I also have a website that features my music as well. It's www.LaShondaSchofield.com.
LaShonda, talk a little bit about social media, because this is another topic that I like to discuss during shows, because I think, when a lot of us got into the music industry, for me, 25 years ago, we didn't have we didn't even have cell phones really at the time. I mean, there were maybe the big ones, but we didn't have social media, we didn't have internet, we didn't have a lot of things that artists now have, which I think in a way, back in the day, people had to get noticed, by either getting discovered or going to auditions or whatever the case may be. But now, obviously, everybody has access to streaming platforms and social media and marketing themselves, and and which is in a way it's good because you have an outlet to get to so many people in the mass audiences. But at the same time, so does everyone else. I mean, millions of other people have the same avenue. So talk about how you use social media to kind of set yourself apart from the other artists, and is there anything that you do differently that allows you to get more followers?
Oh, that's a great question. So I just recently discovered Instagram Reel, Reel, and so it allows the viewer to see you in different ways. And so what I like to do is I do two things. I like to use my music to lip sync to my music, just doing really fun, creative things. And I also like to lip sync to other people's music. So here recently, during Michael Jackson's, I believe it was his birthday weekend, I did a lip sync video to two of his songs, and it's been getting a lot of views as a result of doing that, because I was kind of playing off of the if you love, it don't matter if you're black or white. So I was doing like the little head movements from the video, that people remember from the 90s. And I don't know, people they liked it, and it's been garnering a lot of attention. So that's one way to garner attention. But I also just believe, just piggybacking off of the earlier talk, just making sure your page is professional, that you are continuously posting. People want to see what you're doing. And it may seem mundane, but people really are keenly interested in what you do during your day. So just making sure that your content is fresh, it's fun, you are posting your music, because if you are a musician, you should every day post something related to your music. That's important.
Yeah, we had a little bit of back and forth debate with one of my artists that I talked to a while ago, and we were talking about that. And I think as far as posting things that are fun, when you post things that are fun that aren't really music related, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Where my thought is that it makes you look like a normal person if you put something on once in a while that doesn't have to do with your art. So what are your thoughts on posting things like that, just normal everyday activities?
Oh, I'm all for it. I think it's a great thing. I mean, there is a such thing as oversaturation, but I think if you do it in moderation, people really enjoy it, especially in this season, because we're all at home. We're listening to music, we're on our phones, we're on social media pretty much all day. So people really are wanting to know, like, what is the life of LaShonda like? What does she do? What does she like to eat? I cannot tell you the number of comments that I get on what I post with regard to what I eat. People really want to know what I eat for breakfast. And I have this other thing that I do where I'm singing to my cereal box. My Cheerios, my apple cinnamon Cheerios to be exact, and I'm singing to my Cheerio box. And people are like, she's singing to her Cheerio box. Does she really do this? Yes, I really do it. People I get a lot of views on that too, Some people think she's just doing it for a gimmick, but no, I actually really do that in real life. So it's just really taking what I do on a day-to-day and just giving someone a sneak peek into my world. Really.
That's awesome. I like to hear that. That's great. Well, LaShonda, I can't thank you enough for joining us tonight. And the new single is Free to Love. And just want to make sure that everybody listens to Free to Love and also your other music that we mentioned. We're going to play that during the show. But again, LaShonda, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure. And best of luck to you and everything you do.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you so much for having me.